by storm back in 2021, and they launched a Kickstarter which raised over $2 million. But now it's 2023. There is no game, and very few of the rewards from the Kickstarter have been fulfilled. So what happened?
Did anything really happen to Friday Night Funkin', or are people on the internet just being a little bit too impatient for the actual game to come out? Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Anthony, also known as AL16, and today we are going to be reacting to a video that talks about this issue, and I'm going to give you my opinions on it. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you watch it to the end, and if you do, don't worry, I'll have a word for you to make sure you do. Anyways, enjoy! I like he's making a video on this, and the thing in the background is a fucking boyfriend, the instrument. We're off to a great start here, boys.
A quick recap for those of you who don't know much about the game. Back in October of 2020, Cameron Taylor, who's better known online as Ninja Muffin 99, assembled a group of creators from Newgrounds to compete in Ludum Dare, which is a game jam event where participants are given 48 hours to create a video game from scratch based on a specific theme. Ninja Muffin and his team, which was comprised of fellow Newgrounds artists Phantom Arcade, Evil Skater, and Kawaii Sprite, created a video game which would come to be known as Friday Night Funkin'. The game was pretty bare bones at the time, given the time constraints for making it, but it still resembled what we expect from the game today. Although the game ultimately did not win the Game Jam event, it did find a lot of success and support online, which led the team to create a more polished version of the game, which featured 2 weeks of playable levels and a more streamlined UI. And as the game continued to grow more and more popular over the months, they continued to add more content to it. And by April of 2021, just 5 months after the game launched, they had already released week 7 of the game on Newgrounds. Fun fact, the release was so popular, it completely broke the site for a little while. And at this point
I remember that, chat. Bro, I remember I was streaming on Twitch, and I remember I was like, I couldn't get in for like 30 minutes. I remember that. Newgrounds was like down for like an hour. Oh, brother, I remember that time period. I remember.
The entire creative
team was worth it.
As a passion project, you know, there was no monetary incentive for them to continue working on it. They just wanted to share their creative vision with the world. But given the amount of success and support the game had found online, the next logical step would be to secure funding.
The Kickstarter, yep. I was
Later
worried
that month,
Kickstarter went crazy.
They officially announced Friday Night Funkin', the full game Kickstarter. Notice the really laid-back title of the Kickstarter. Keep that in mind because it will come into play down the line. They had over 20 different prices.
No way that's gonna be one of his reasonings to roast it. No way. The title is so calming. What? The full-ass game. That's a fair title. The full-ass game. What?
Tiers you could support this Kickstarter on, getting yourself perks such as t-shirts, CDs and vinyl pressings of the songs, sticker sheets, and even putting yourself in the game. They had set a goal of $60,000 to turn this pipe dream into a reality, and they hit it almost immediately. Now, a common thing on Kickstarter is the concept of stretch goals. It's a way to incentivize people to keep donating to the cause even if you've already secured the funding. So if the goal was $60,000, maybe you add a new feature if you somehow reach $100,000. To say the Friday Night Funkin' team was ambitious with their stretch goals is an understatement. The very first stretch goal of theirs, priced at just $25,000 over their initial goal, was to release a mobile build of the game. And you see, I think that's the perfect use for a stretch goal, you know, make the game more accessible for all players. It's wonderful. Then things start to ramp up a bit. A custom character creator and an online sharing network. And you know, these goals still seem fairly reasonable at this point. You know, hosting this content on a server is not going to be cheap, but it is a stretch goal. But if they hit $615,000 worth of funding, they were promising an additional 5 weeks of content added onto the game. Now keep in mind, the full game that this Kickstarter was promoting already promised 20 weeks of content. With 3 songs in each week, that is a total of 60 levels included in the game.
Right.
And they just promised 15 more. Oh, but they weren't done yet. To make a long story short, by the end of this Kickstarter, they had promised an additional 25 weeks of content, a hard mode for every week of content, fully animated cutscenes for each level, and a real-time online multiplayer mode for the game. What? I remember at the time thinking, this is either really ambitious, really stupid, or a mixture of the both. I obviously wanted to show my support for this Kickstarter because it was a group of passionate creators wanting to share their work with their fans, and honestly, that's something I can always get behind. Now, at the time, I had pledged $65 to this campaign, which entitled me to a CD, cassette, and vinyl of the original soundtrack, a digital copy of the game, my name in the credits of the game, and a digital art booklet. And I'm happy to say that as of January of 2023, I have not received any of those, and I'll get into that a bit later. But one thing I did get immediate...
I have a prediction. He's gonna say like, okay, people are still not getting their rewards or something like that. If he does say something around the lines of that, that is just literally false. There have literally been people on Twitter showing that they have gotten some of the things from the Kickstarter already. So if that's the case, then that's not necessarily a reason, because there are people getting it. You know, just because you didn't get it right away doesn't mean no one got it. So let's just see.
Access to was backer-only updates. These exclusive posts would keep me and other paying supporters informed of what's going on behind the scenes. So let's see what kind of information they've given us over the past 2 years.
Which they have been doing.
Hi lol. Crack. Kawaii Sprite has a butthole that's freaking
Oh, brother. Oh, brother, don't tell me your evidence is this shit. We're just gonna ignore Twitter? Please tell me he talks about the Twitter. Please tell me he talks about the Twitter. Please, I beg. Please tell me he talks about the streams and the Twitter, please. Please don't tell me that's his evidence. Please tell me. Please.
I can't find Kawaii Sprite. I left my room for the first time.
Please tell me you didn't forget about Twitter and Phantom Arcade
one thing
streams.
about their entire
Please,
Kickstarter is they've taken a very laid-back approach to how they communicate with their supporters. Their updates usually include typos, swearing, and just general non-seriousness. Now, I'm in no way trying to be a prude, because I can take a step back and still see the comedy in it. But at the same time, you just raised over $2 million. Maybe you could give us a serious update every once in a while? So one big thing I was able to glean from these sporadic updates was just how unprepared this team was to tackle a project of this size. It seemed like the only updates we were getting for this Kickstarter were apologies that all of our perks were getting delayed. I think the most blatant case of that in this scenario is the physical media.
We just completely ignored about Twitter and the streams. We just ignored that. We just completely ignored that there was a whole Twitter that they updated us on, and in a whole stream, multiple streams of Phantom Arcades. We just ignored that entire part in terms of updating us. We just ignored about all of that. Oh, brother. If you're gonna make a video like this, Shane, on something, at least have your evidence and things that back it up. Because your evidence right there was like the Kickstarter updates, which they've been doing more recently, actually. They actually been updating us on Twitter, doing Q&As with us, by the way, too. And Phantom Arcade streams where he also goes more in depth about it, too. Man, we just don't do research out here. We do not do research out here.
Now, back when the Kickstarter launched in April, they had initially promised that the physical media would be sent out to supporters around September of 2021. The company that would be taking care of the manufacturing and distribution of these physical media would be Needlejuice Records, and I want to make it very clear, every accusation I am lobbying in this video is directly at the Friday Night Funkin team and not Needlejuice Records. I have worked with Needlejuice Records in the past, and they are absolutely wonderful, and I know in this case they are just working with what they've been given. Now, producing physical media like this isn't a quick process, so you want to get started on that as soon as you can. The problem is, the Friday Night Funkin team just kept kicking this can down the road and procrastinating on one of the more time-sensitive issues in this campaign. Needlejuice Records even had to come out and say that they were still waiting on the final album artwork from the Friday Night Funkin team before they were even able to start the manufacturing process. Now keep in mind, I started working with Needlejuice Records at the exact same time to release my own music on physical media. I signed on in May, everything was sent out for manufacturing by August, and by October I had in my hand the CDs and cassettes. So clearly it was possible to get this Friday Night Funkin' CD manufactured and shipped out to backers by their...
There's no way he just compared himself, this one dude, to like a whole team that has to do content with the $2 million they were given for a whole ass game development. There's no way that's his comparison. There's no way your comparison, my guy, is you, one dude that has more free time than like 4 people on the dev team of FNF that has to make a whole ass game, which is not simple, because remember, even AAA companies take years to make a game. Oh, brother, we just used it. Oh, brother, that's just not a comparison.
Their September 2021
That's not a comparison.
deadline.
That's not a comparison.
Did they do it? In their July Kickstarter update, they revealed that they had not quite finished the album artwork yet, but they showed off a nearly finished design. Now, this was 3 months after the launch of the Kickstarter, mind you. Fast forward to the October update, and for the very first time, they reveal that no one will be getting their perks on time because they still haven't finished the album artwork. And on top of that, they reveal that the vinyls will still be another 1.5 years out due to a vinyl shortage, which I get the vinyl shortage is completely out of their control. But now you tell us? But by December, the album artwork was...
But now you tell us. That's not... it's not that big of a deal. It's like, you're gonna get it. Like, the guy is making this, like, seem like it's the end of the world that we're not getting the content right away. Like, you're still getting it. It's not like they said, hey guys, you guys just paid money and you guys are not getting it. You just are getting it at a later time period. And I mean, hey, there hasn't been an update to the game, or the game's not even out yet. So it's like, at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. You're making it seem like it's the end of the world that we're not getting it. Like, I'm so lost.
Almost done, which is code for still not done. But luckily, in February, he revealed that the CDs and cassettes have been sent off for manufacturing. And then further down says he was lying and they're not done with the artwork yet. But have no fear, because by July 2022, Ninja Muffin finally reveals that CDs and cassettes will be shipping out shortly. But that he sent the wrong customer data to the distributors, so it's gonna be delayed again. That was July 2022. And that was the last update they ever posted. If I look through the social media of Needle Juice, it looks like that as of January of 2023, this physical media is finally getting ready to ship to backers, but there has been no official word from the Kickstarter campaign. At the time of recording this, I still have not received mine, so just a tad bit off from their September 2021 shipping date. But I hear you screaming, enough about the perks, what about the game?
Okay, so this whole section of just, like, the physical media things, if I'm correct, isn't there people that already got, like, their shit physical media too? Like I said earlier, this whole point of this is just like,
is like, hey, I didn't get my shit on time, now I'm gonna be pissed off at you.
If you're getting it still. It doesn't matter if it, like, I know they said a certain time date, but clearly, you gotta understand, bro, like you said, it's like 4 people that are now working on a full-ass game development, and it's not like they have a company large-sized team to do it that fast. Like, it's not like they have, like, a whole marketing team, and then a whole other team that does this section on FNF, then a whole nother team that does... they're not Nintendo or Sega, or, like, they're not any of those companies that have different teams for certain things. Like, you have a promotional team, you have the game development team, you have different teams for different things. They don't really necessarily have all of that. So you gotta expect, take it with a grain of salt that it's not gonna come right away, but as long as you still get it, you still got your money's worth. Like, are you gonna sit here and be pissed off that you don't have something that you're probably just gonna put on your shelf at the end of the day? Like, come on, my guy. Like, you're making this whole entire segment of just bashing them when all you're probably gonna do is put that shit next to your fucking boyfriend thing on your desk over there. All right, let's go to the game. We'll see what he says about the game now. He's gonna be like, week 7 has been the last update, yada, yada, yada.
What about the perks? What about the game? When the Kickstarter launched, they expected the game to ship out in April of 2022. And did it? Of course not. They actually didn't address this until February of 2022. 2 months before the expected release of the game, where they said they never really expected to release it in April of 2022. That was just a date they put in, and they're sorry for not communicating that earlier. And through these backer updates, we basically heard just production information about the t-shirts, CDs, pins, and how all of them were taking much longer than expected. We rarely heard anything about the game progress, which, you know, is the main point of the Kickstarter. It actually wasn't until May of 2022 that we received our first update on the progress of the actual game, well over a year after it was funded. And what do we know about it now? Still not much. All they have revealed to us is that they've, quote, made progress on the game, but they have never quantified what that progress is. The tone of this and any other update can only be described as, you don't understand how hard this is, so give us a break. Which I get, it's a lot of work and it's very hard, but at the same time, just give us something. It has been well over 5 months.
They have. All of your evidence are stemming from the Kickstarter, which they've been doing more on recently. It's just not really adding up. It's just, you're just kind of talking out of your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
months since we got our last Kickstarter update. I have no idea what shape the game is in right now. The Kickstarter comments are starting to get filled up by people complaining that they haven't gotten their perks yet and accusing the creators of taking the money and running. Now, do I think the creators took the money and ran? No, but I think they were woefully unprepared for the magnitude of this project and bit off way more than they could chew. I don't think they expected the Kickstarter to be this successful, and so while people were throwing more and more money at them, It just made sense for them to promise more and more things. But once the dust settled, all that was left was 4 young adults, a big promise, and 58,000 people to please.
What do I even say? You know, it's just, he was just rambling. As someone that has supported the Kickstarter, my goal, like, I don't think everyone was there expecting to look at the Kickstarter every day for updates. When I went to support the Kickstarter, I went to support the Kickstarter for they could do the full game and then get the rewards at some point in time. I never was there to worry about updates. And Twitter, I'm sorry, is just a way better place to update people of what you're doing with your progress, you know? It's just so much better. It's such an easier place to update people, and more people are active on Twitter, whether you like it or not, than a Kickstarter. Oh well, just another video out there bashing the game for not being quote-unquote on time. And before this video ends, I just also want to clarify that just because my opinions on his video I do not agree with in any sort of form, I still don't to this day. I will be making a more in-depth video about the whole topic of like what happened to FNF, but this isn't a reason for y'all to go to his channel and start, you know, leaving hate comments or, you know, DMing him like, hey, you're stupid, you're wrong. Don't do that. Us as a community, the boozers, we do not do that. You know, we can have different opinions. That's why I made this video today, to show other people that, hey, you know, this is my personal opinion on this, right? This is my view on the situation, which I'll give more in depth, like I said, but this isn't a reason or opportunity for you guys to start hating on him or to start going to his channel or do any of that. So, and if the person, like Sully, if you are watching this video, if you see my reaction, I have nothing against you at all. Your opinion is your opinion. I respect it, like always, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's like, it's just your thoughts, you know, you're just making your thoughts out there. You know, if you ever wanted to talk about it, like conversation, human to human, then also we can, but I just don't want anyone going to his channel to start hating. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. The word of the day is FNF, ironically enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to swipe that like button for me. Subscribe today to join the boozers, and I'll see you guys next time in another castle. Deuces.